Hey guys, MattyB, Edge Home Finance,
Corey, Legacy Wealth Group.
and today we want to talk to you a little bit about this big old board behind us and what it actually represents, because it's a little daunting, it's a little confusing, and we're going to break it down for you. But really what this is about is, how do you get into the investment property game? How do you become a flipper? How do you become a landlord? And what does it actually take? And Corey, what are your takes on what we're going to be doing today?
Yeah, well, first of all, see all this chaos? Don't let it trip you up. This is money right here. All this, if you can figure out all this, this is how you pad your pocket. This is how you create legacy. And a lot of people, they get scared off by this, so they never get in it. But people like MattyB, people like myself, we're here to break it down so that it makes sense, so you can make money off of it. So you can go find those deals. You can pay for your kids' college. You can have those vacations. But don't get scared off by all these numbers, because we're going to hook you up. So when I see this, I smile, because I see a tool. I see this as a tool that'll get you where you want to go. That's what this is. And MattyB is about to kill it on this.
So, we're going to start off with the first section here. When I sit down with somebody, I want to know, first and foremost, where's your money at? Because if you look at the board here, you see down payment, down payment, down payment, down payment, down payment. That's a lot of money. But everybody's got money somewhere. If you own a house and you've owned one for a few years, you most likely got some money in equity. You might have some money in your retirement. You might have done Dave Ramsey's program and stuffed all your money in a safe. Or maybe you're an anomaly and you got a pile of money in the bank already. Maybe you had some inheritance come in and you've got some money sitting and you're not sure what to do with it.
Or a good hack, 401k, self-directed IRA. A lot of people that come to us are like, hey, I've done my career. I have some money in my 401k, but I'm still not getting ahead. I want to do this. 401k, self-directed IRA, that's another place you can get money.
Yes. Once we've established where your money's at, how we're going to get you to be able to participate, do you have an LLC set up yet? Do you have a business? You don't have to have one, but if you're going to protect yourself and we're going to run a business, because we're not building a buy your home that you're going to go live in and then see you later. We're building a buy it this month, buy another one next month, hopefully buy another one the month after that, and then start selling them. And if we're going to run a business, me personally, I'm going to have an LLC that gives me some sort of protection. And I'm also going to have an EIN number, so I have the ability to write off the expenses as a self-employed business owner.
And another hack to that is, once you start doing multiple deals, S Corp. S Corp allows you to do disbursement payments, start paying all your family members. So there's ways to protect your money. So half the battle is not just making the money, it's protecting your money.
Keeping it. Next thing, Corey and I, or the agent that's working with you, are going to find a house. We're going to analyze that house. We're going to review it, whether it's a fix and flip we're doing or we're renovating, and we need to know what our renovation budget's going to be, or and know what our after repair value is going to be, or if it is a buy and hold, and what is your strategy for that? Are you buying a single family? Are you buying a duplex? Are you buying a fourplex? Are you buying something that's slab on grade so you can put people who maybe are in a wheelchair and elderly in it? Or are you buying a place that's just going to be rented to anybody? Are you willy-nilly out there just trying to buy a property? Or did you meet with somebody like Corey, who's specifically set up your buy box with the criteria you're looking for, so that you're getting what you're supposed to be getting and not just buying something for nothing?
And what he's talking about is chasing money. Most of us get into this space and they're like, man, I just want to make money. And so you just chase deals that have a dollar sign on them, and you get into the wrong type of product. And that's where people get burned. And they hear those stories about, my friend bought a flip, bought a rental, and they lost it, or they lost money on it, or they had a bad landlord, or whatever it is. But those are the people that chased money and didn't have a plan or a buy box, or talk to guys like us.
So once we've established our buy box, we've analyzed the property that fits the buy box, we're then going to get our offer accepted, and we're going to finalize everything. If we have to do any clean out on the house, if it's a flip, we need to make sure our renovation budget is solid. Once we've completed that, we're going to underwrite your file. First one's going to take 30 days. Now I'm going to be honest with you. If you jump when we ask you to jump, and you jump as high as we say to jump, 30 days is not something that should be in your
So when he says jump, your response is, how high, bro?
Because I'm going to do it in 15 days. Most of the time, a flip's going to take 35 to 45 days to get done. I do them in 15 to 20 days.
Real word story. 2 weeks ago, we just did a deal with MattyB. I think it was 20 days, maybe 25. It wasn't even 30. We got it done.
Yep. Last one of the year for me. 6 to 12 weeks for renovation budgets. You'll see over here, this one was 6 weeks. This one here was 16 weeks. This one they made 27,000. This one they made 108,000. You're going to spend less time making less money, more time making more money. Listing the home, finding the next one. This is where an agent like Corey is going to come into play because he's not out here waiting for us to be able to sell this one when it's done. He's out there actively finding the next one and the next one and the next one so that your assembly line keeps going. And here's the real deal. If you're an investor and you got guys in here doing demo and you don't have another house for them after they get done doing this house, these guys at the end of week 2 or the end of week 3 better be going into your second house or they're going into somebody else's house to work. And now you're waiting for them to be available again. Or you're finding somebody new who you haven't vetted. So there's a lot of reasons and rhyme to doing this and getting a position put in place where you can be buying a home every 30 to 45 days so that your people stay your people. Because these blue collar workers doing all the work inside of the house are the ones that make you all your money.
100%. Managing your people is one of the biggest stressors on doing flips. And people who know how to manage other people are the ones who win. If you just hire a contract, go away and leave for a couple weeks, that project is going down. And those guys will go find the next deal, whether you have it or not.
Yep.
So it's best to keep more deals in the pipeline going, but it takes a team of coaching people like me, people like Matty, to help you get there. And that's what we're trying to do with this board.
Now we've listed the house, we've sold the house, we're closing on that sale. We got our money ready for the next one, and we want to repeat this process. Fix and flip, and then we're going to get into buy and hold, and that's going to be this next section here. We're going to continue here with the repeat times 10. Fix and flip, buy and hold. How it works. And to give you a little pretense on this person here, we had to find her money. She didn't have money available here. She didn't have money in a safe. She had money in her equity. I got her a $220,000 home equity line of credit. That was her way to start participating.
HELOC. Home equity line of credit.
Home equity line of credit. Thank you.
I will say this, probably the number one tool first-time investors that get into this space when they say they have no money, typically they do a HELOC on their personal home, and that's where their nugget comes from.
All right, so this one here, 920 Old Town Road, we bought for $170,000. We had $42,000 worth of renovations. This house was a water damage house, and the association had taken the sheetrock and whatnot out from the top floor and the main floor 3 feet up, so it saved us about $15,000 worth of renovation work. The lower amount on this one was $180,000. They had to come in with $41,000 out of the $220,000 I gave her. She had to have another $20,000 in reserve. So what I did with her $220,000, I said take $75,000 and put it in your bank account so that we have the money to cover the down payment, the reserves, the carrying costs, everything that could potentially come up. When we went to closing, she got a $69,662 check. She replaced her down payment money and profited $27,860. That was done in 6 weeks. Very quick. We in turn took the profits from this one and she said, hey, go find me another one, make it a little bigger, I want to make more money. We found this one here, 5200 Morningside. Both of these were non-MLS, which means they were not listed properties. I helped find and source these properties for my clients.
And pro tip, if you are a player in this space, in the real estate space, 90% of your deals are gonna come from off market. If you just hire a realtor to open doors on the MLS, no offense to realtors, I have my license as well, you will not get the deals you want. You have to get plugged in with people that know this space, live, drink, sleep it, and have the connections.
100%.
If you don't, you will not get ahead.
100% what he just said. So this one here, 5200 Morningside. Great neighborhood. One side is really expensive. The other side is somewhat expensive. Edina and, what was that? St. Louis Park and Edina. $440 purchase price, needed $92,000 down. She had just gotten her chunk of cash back here. We put $150,000 in the bank out of her $220,000. Had carrying costs. This one was 16 weeks. I'm gonna be blunt. This one was a mess. The contractor who started this one told us it was gonna be $45,000. It wasn't. We ended up coming in on this one at $85,000. We fired a contractor and brought in a different contractor to fix the mess up and to complete the project. Now, she still walked away with $40,000 in profit. She expected to make $81,000 in profit. Not only that, but during this process, her value went from 649.9 down to 610 because the market shifted. So not only is it contracted you got to worry about, but you also got to have some speed behind you, because this one here we expected to take 10 weeks. It took 16. Those extra 6 weeks, we lost $35,000 in value because rates went up and values went down. And it's the real estate game.
And one thing, this is called investing, not guaranteeing.
Guaranteeing.
So setting your expectations has to be part of your process of building a buy box. You are not going to win every single deal. If you come into this game thinking you're going to win every single deal, good luck. Because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you get on the deal that doesn't go the way you want. Now, are you going to cut and run and be like, I'm done, I'm out of this space? Or are you going to say, what did I learn from that so I don't do it on the second one?
Now, this lady, she's made some money. We have this one going, and when we got this one going, the contractor was real sharp-tongued, the first guy. He's like, go buy another one, I can do 2. We managed finishing this one. His subs did not. He came in and sanded pergo floors, and we decided you're done. So he was fired. I managed this with my subs. We had our other guy come back in and helped give me some subs to finish this one, but we did 2 at a time. Now, this one was done in 3 weeks. She made 18,000 bucks. Hoped to make 25. We ended up having to spend a little more here than we had hoped to because he sanded pergo floors and we had to fix that. You don't sand those.
Kid, you don't sand pergo floors.
You don't sand pergo floors. So she still made 18,000 bucks. Now, what I want to talk about with this gal here, right here we've got 67, almost 80,000 bucks. She makes $70,000 a year as a police dispatcher. We made her more money in half a year than she makes at her W-2. This is why people do this. I don't know if any of you are following me or if you've seen any of my videos of stuff I've got pinned, but I am doing this not for a paycheck. I close enough loans every month to be comfortable. I am doing this because I want to have people. We dreamed big dreams when we were younger. And when we get older and we start getting a job and you go through school and you get to college and you find out how expensive things are, your dreams start to get smaller. And sometimes they go away. I want your dreams big. Big dreams. And that's what I'm shooting for. That's why I'm doing this.
Hey, Matt, he's on to something right there. Now, look, I do this for a paycheck. Don't get it twisted. But I also do it to help my community because I've seen too many people in the rat race doing the 9 to 5 come to me, Corey, I want to get like you. I want to be financially independent. And it's not because they want money, because they want to do something for kids, family, all of that. And instead of me holding all the secrets in and being like, man, you on your own. I'm at a spot in my life where, yes, I make good money and I will continue to make good money. So, yes, I do it for a paycheck because I got a wife, I got kids. But now I can share that knowledge and help you get the paycheck as well so you can change your life. And that's what this is all about.
I've said this a bunch of times in the past, but, we go out here and we do this. You make 20, let's say this was you. This was a year of your life working with Corey and I. First project, we make 27 large. Second project, we make 40,000 and we have a learning experience. Third project, we have the learning experience that this guy's not a contractor, he's a hack, and he's gone. So we've made money, learned a lot, cut somebody completely out of our circle who's not going to participate and make us less money anymore. This one here was a slam dunk, and this one here was a listed property that they were like, no, you offered too little. And then they came back and they said, hey, you know what? We might have been too high. And we still got it and we made some money. We make you $250,000 bucks. I want you to think about this. Your kids are going to school. You're going to send kids to college someday. What kind of college do you get to send them to if you're working your 9 to 5? And then I want you to think about what kind of college you get to send them to if you're making $250,000 a year in your spare time. Maybe you're still working your W-2 job, but you're making $250,000 a year. What are the decisions you get to make start to look like? Do you get to make decisions based on the merit of that decision and not count the cost? Like if you wanted to pay your parents' house off someday and you made enough money to do it and you wanted to have it be a big surprise, you don't count the costs of that. You get to make a decision based on the merit of what that decision does because you've made enough money. When money becomes like air, you don't ever see anybody running around going, you see how much air I just got? When you've figured out how to make money like water and air, you get to do some really cool things with it.
Money becomes a tool. And the more tools you have in the shed, the better you can do. If you try and build a house with just one hammer, good luck. But if you have a truck full of tools, imagine the type of house you can build. So what Matty's talking about is what type of house do you want to build? And until your money's working for you, till your money works as hard as you did to get it, you won't be financially independent. You won't be financially free. So once you start making money like this, you have to get into the long-term hold space. That is the way that you create real wealth. This will not create wealth. This will create the tools. It will create money, which is great. But wealth comes from ownership. Wealth comes from other people paying off your debts. That's how you create that wealth.
100%. Let's say you want to invest in real estate. You're watching our videos. You're like, I want to get my feet wet in the game. How do I do it? And the one hack that I wish I would have had somebody tell me when I was 18, I'm 47, I'm on my 23rd primary residence, and I never did this. I wish somebody would have said, you know what? You need to buy a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex. Let's say it was a duplex. I would have went $440,000 on a duplex in, let's say, St. Louis Park, Edina, one of those high-end areas that's going to get me the most amount of money from Section 8 housing. And why I like Section 8 housing is because it's guaranteed money. And those people don't want to lose the guaranteed money that they're getting, because if they don't get it, they got to figure out how to pay it. So I'd buy my first place, 3.5% down, $440,000 duplex. This is what I would get from Section 8 for my rent. This is what I would get from Section 8 for my second unit after I decide to vacate it in a year. My mortgage payment would have been $3,956. If I've got that coming in, I'm pretty sure I can hash out a good living paying $1,000 a month to rent. Or I can have a friend move in with me, the house hack. Have your buddy move in. You got a 3-bed, 1-bath, or a 3-bed, 2-bath house. You get a bedroom and a bathroom, and we got an office or a space that we share, and now you're not paying a mortgage payment. You got a house hack on a duplex. It's going to be 2 units. That's going to pay almost $3,000 per unit, and we're going to live in this house for the first year. After year 1, we're going to move out, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to buy our second duplex, and we're going to do that house 1 through house 10. And this is how we are going to build ourselves up to a point where once we've done house 1 and we've moved into house 2, you now have just about $6,000 a month coming in on this house. That house, the profit on it is $1,950. We're not going to put that in our pocket. You have a W-2 job. We're going to put it into the house, and we're going to pay the house off in 12 and a half years, and you're going to have $6,000 a month coming in at the end of 12 years. And then we do house 2, and we repeat, and we do house 3, and we repeat through 10. Now I'm going to forecast this out for you a little bit. We're at the end of the 10th year. You've bought a house every year. Each one rents for $6,000 a month, and we're finishing up our 10th house. If you've got 20 grand, 1950 times 10 coming in, and if a house pays off in 12 and a half years, and you've been taking all the profits and dumping it into each house, house 1, back here to the first one you bought, has about $25,000 to $30,000 left on it with 2.5 years left. You take all the profit from this and you pay it off. Now that house is a $6,000 a month check, and it's free and clear, and it's worth, call it $500,000. Now you're going to take that $25,000 that you've got coming in from all of the 10 houses, and we're going to start paying off house 2. Get that one paid off. And once we have house 1 through house 10 paid off, you're sitting with a gross monthly revenue of $60,000. Now you still got maintenance, management, taxes, and insurance, so take it down to $45,000. I bet you can still hash out a nice living on 45 grand. I'm going to assume that the property values have gone up over the last 10 years. Maybe they're not worth double. Maybe they're only worth $6 million, but you didn't pay $6 million for them, and somebody else paid them off. Now you got $6 million worth of free and clear real estate, maybe more. You got a pile of gross income and some really hefty net income that you can hash out a great living on. And this was just buying a primary residence every year for the next 10 years. Don't hang a picture on the wall. Don't buy all the expensive stuff you got to haul around and move. You do that when you're done with this. This same concept works with an investor as well, and we're going to go through that next.
And look, man, obviously this is the blueprint to creating wealth. And it looks really easy when we sit up here. The reality is this is going to be tough. It's going to be hard. But the people that suck it up and do the hard are the ones that are going to make a difference in their life. The ones that are like, hey, I'm sick of partying, I'm sick of going out, I'm sick of spending money on the bars and the alcohol and all that, and I'm gonna buckle down. And for 5 to 10 years, I'm gonna be all about my business, all about stacking wealth. You will get there. The people that quit here, or don't even start here are the ones that never make it. But the ones who are like, I don't care what came up in my life, I don't care who doubted me, I don't care who said no, I am going to keep pushing forward because I have a goal. And my goal is to have that financial freedom. You know, saving will not get you wealthy. You save enough money, you hit 60, and you hope and pray that you have enough to retire. That will not get it done. That is not a plan. You might as well go roll the dice at the crap table. Good luck. This is an actual plan to create wealth. It's hard, it's tough, you have to suck it up. You might even have to cut off some people in order to do this. But if you do this, if you buckle down and do this, the wealth will come, and in 10 to 12 years, you will be able to make whatever decision you want. But you have to make the choice if you're willing to do the hard and jump in and cast aside that fear.
I heard this from an upline in a business years ago. The only person who's taking care of you when you're 60, 70, and 80 is you when you are 20, 30, and 40. Better get after it. Mm-hmm. I want to run up here to this thing here too really quick. This hit home for me. I make more than that every year, and I want to live on more than that when I retire. But if I'm going to make it at 6% vested in a life insurance, or you know, name the bucket, the conservative bucket, I'd have $1.8 million to live on 60. And we all know that 60,000 today ain't going to be the same 60,000 30 years from now. And if I want to live on 120, I need $3.6 million vested at 6%. That's terrifying if this is what you think you need to live on. And that's number right there. If you ain't doing that, how are you going to do that?
3.6 million, by the way. To make 120 grand a year in your retirement, you got to have 3.6 million sitting around. Do you think where you're at right now, will you save enough for when you hit 60? Will you save $3.6 million? Most of us who just do a 9 to 5 won't even make that in their lifetime. Nope. Like total, let alone what you're already spending on expenses. So how else are you going to get there? The only way to do that is to be investing in yourself, businesses, and others. And this is one of the few blueprints that'll get you there.
Now, I want you to take a peek at this thing here too. So imagine you're out here and we're 10 years in. You got 60,000 a month coming in. And let's say we're over here and we're doing this flip and this flip every month. You are a millionaire with the rent coming in, doing 2 flips, maybe even doing these 2, or doing these 2, or doing this one and this one, or this one and this one. However it ends up being. You got a pile coming in here, and if you can get to the point where you're generating another 45 to 50,000 a month with the flips we're doing, which, Corey, is it hard to generate that kind of money once you get rolling and you get the process down?
Not at all, not at all. Because I was going to give this, man, this is another hack. So in my career, I was doing 20 plus flips a year, and I was doing these type of numbers, making 20, 30, 40,000 on a flip, which was good. Sometimes I would hit a little bit more. What I realized quickly is I could do the luxury flip space. So if you get enough experience, enough network, you can do one flip that makes as much as this whole thing.
Times 2.
Times 2.
I saw it.
So what I do is I do 2 to 3 large flips that equal 10 to 20 in a year. And I'll make 300 to 500 on one flip. So instead of hustling, I did the hard where I was doing 10, 15, 20 a year. I earned my stripes. But now I do 2 to 3 and still make more than when I was hustling 20. But the problem is people want to go from A to B right away. They just want the money. They chase the money. They're not willing to put in the hard work. I put in the hard work, created the network, created the financial tools, all the contractors, got in a place where I could do those luxury flips. I didn't just wake up one day and do it. But the potential is through the roof if you have the right people around you, you get the right coaching, the right financing, you can make 500 grand per flip. It is possible.
Now, I want you guys to hear this too, because he talked about having to get through he had to earn his stripes. He had to get through doing all these, doing 20 a year. He went from 0 experience to 5 experience to 15 experience and probably watched his rates go down, saw the points that he was being charged go down, and got to a point now where it's like, I'm looking at 4 or 5 houses, I'm looking for the home run, but I got a few singles too. I'm getting the offer accepted on the home run, but I got financed at a higher amount. I got money to buy that single. Because let's be real, like, you and I make decent money, but like if you're working a day-to-day job, you're my gal making $70,000 a year.
You have to
You
start
make this
at-
here?
Yeah.
Like in 3 weeks, you're like, I never made that much money in a month in my
Ever.
life. So this is game changing. Like I don't want to downplay the numbers here, but if you went out and did this 10 times this, you made $187,000.
And that is realistic to be able to do 10 of those in a year and make that type of
in
profit.
3 weeks. This is
But you
one.
got to have the right team. You can't just be like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to go hire a realtor. I'm just going to go hire a broker. Nothing against them.
Doesn't work that way.
But you got to have someone that this is the lane they're in, that we have mastered it. We wake up and do this every single day.
Literally, I got an 8 foot by 4 foot whiteboard in the office that sits here, and I stare at this thing all day because this is, like Corey says, we eat, sleep, breathe, and run this thing to the ground every day. I don't go to bed at night not thinking about a fix and flip or about an investor that I'm working on or who am I trying to get into the position where we're starting them on this path. You know, I call it the golden road or the, you know, what's the, what was
I call it the messy road.
the messy, this is a messy
I call
road.
it the messy road,
Yeah,
man.
it's
This
messy.
game is a roller coaster ride. It's just like a stock. You go up, you go down, you go up, you go down. But if you have the right team, you will consistently go up.
Yeah.
So golden path, messy path. The reality is action.
Yep.
The what's preventing most people is action, taking that first step. And they let their fear consume them. Like, what if it goes wrong? What if it doesn't happen? This person said no. Forget all that. Action is the first step, and just realize it will be a journey. It will be tough. It will be hard. This isn't to say don't do it. It's just to set that expectation that that's what separates the people who have and don't have. Is what's the alternative? Sit at home and doing Netflix and chill? Good luck. You're going to be broke. Get off the couch. Get in the game. Come on.
100%. Let's go.
All right, man, I'm going to talk about Buy Box. I'm going to talk about overcoming fear. So Legacy Wealth Group, that's a community that I run. That is an investor-friendly Facebook of investors where people come every single day and talk about how we get legacy, how we get money, how we do deals. So if you want to get plugged in, Legacy Wealth Group, that's the name of the game. That's where you can get plugged in. But this is the type of stuff that we talk about in Legacy Wealth Group. So the problem is most of us, as investors, we have fear, right? So I'm going to draw this line right here. This is the fear line. So this represents, over here is all of our fear, right? And over here is what we want to accomplish. So I'm going to just put, for me, legacy. So that's kids, that's retirement, that's college, whatever it is. But this line right here is the fear line. This is always stopping us. So a lot of people will say, hey, I want to be on this side of the fence, right? And they will start on a path and they will get to right here and they will stop because of fear. Hey, what if that deal doesn't make me any money? What if I can't find a contractor? My cousin, my friend, my uncle, whoever, they did a flip back in the day and it went bad. Oh man, I know my buddy who has a renter property and he's got Section 8 tenants and he's always complaining. He's saying it sucks, you know? So then what you do is you bounce off that fear line and you go back to whatever you were doing. And then maybe 2 years go by and you're still struggling. And then we come back and we get right here. And then, oh man, my spouse said no. My mom said don't do it. I read an article that said the market's gonna tank. I need to wait for the right deal. I need to wait for interest rates to go down. And then you come back here, right? And then 2 more years pass. And you're like, man, I'm still in this 9 to 5. I still haven't got retirement. And this cycle just goes on and on and on. And you got fear. And you never get over here to the legacy side. You never get over here to where you're doing 5 deals, you know, you're making the money, you're doing that, you know? So how do we break that fear cycle? So part of it is most people, when they get in and they say, I want to get here, I talked about it earlier. I want legacy, so they say, I want money. They say, I want money. So I want this over here, so I want money. But when they get here, they don't have a plan.
There's no way to get through the wall.
There's just chasing money. So they get here and it's like, well, I don't got a plan. So I'm going to go back and I want money. No plan. I'm going to go back. How do we alleviate this? This is very important. When I started out, I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have any coaches. I didn't have any of that. I had to figure it out myself. The worst way to learn is by doing it yourself, making mistakes, reinventing, making another mistake. The life hack. Find someone who's doing it at a high level that you trust, you want to be around, and go to them. Matty, How are you doing this? I want to get around you. Coach me up. How did you make all those mistakes? Hey, Corey, we heard you did 20 a year. What was that like? Coaching, mentoring the right people, and coming up with a business plan. So again, instead of chasing money, how you break through this fear box is coming up with a real game plan. So when I sit down with my clients that I coach every single day, the first thing we talk about is our mindset. What is our mindset? What do we want to accomplish? What do we hope to accomplish? Where am I at financially? What have I done in the past? What type of investments have I been around? That sets the table for like, hey, what's next? How do we get the money? Where do we go? MattyB, we got to find the money. You come up with a game plan of like, hey, what can I afford right now? Do I need to get that HELOC? Do I have an uncle that's got money? Do I have a 401k? We haven't even got to the money yet. We're up here on mindset. We're up here on finances. Then we got to come up with a buy box. And not a buy box when you guys bought your first home. Not like, hey, I want a cute 3-bed Rambler. I'm talking about what fits your lifestyle. If you are single and you don't have a home, duplex, that is a buy box. That is something that'll work.
100%.
If you are married and have 3 kids and you want to get in this space, a duplex is not going to work for you. But if you are chasing money and you see Matty's video and you're like, oh, he's got this duplex that makes $6,000 a month, and you go buy that duplex and you got 3 kids and a wife, it is not going to work. That is not the right buy box. But everyone has a different buy box. And what you have to do is come up with a plan of, I know how much money I have, I know what I can afford, and I know what type of property. So for instance, if your buy box is a 3-bed, 1-bath that has a roof already done, basement unfinished, all you have to do is do kitchens, nothing outside, and finish the basement, and it's got to be under $250,000, that's a buy box. And I want it in a first ring suburb. So now when all these deals that come by that make money,
100%.
you can say no. We can do our little Tinder. You can swipe left. 2-story, no. Hey, inner city, no. Hey, duplex, no. Hey, Rambler, 3-bed for $220, boom, done. We're not guessing anymore. We're not analyzing anymore. Because now we go back with a plan.
Straight through the wall.
And we say, hey, I know my money. I know my finances. I know what type of property. I know my team. Boom. Now we just broke through the wall. Now when we get on this side, we can start working all these different steps to create the legacy. But here's what happens next, is maybe that first deal you get going and it's hard. And you say, man, I'm going back. And you get right here and that fear line's still there. This is again where mentorship and having the right network helps. Because before you cross back over this line, guess who's the wall now? Me, people like Matty, we are now the wall to say, wait a minute, you can go back on this side if you want. You remember what that was like? You remember how bad that was? Let's not do that. Let's reanalyze where we're at. This deal didn't go too well. What happened on it? What did we learn from it? Don't give up. Let's improve on what we did here. Let's go back out here.
Yep. And now we make more in the next one.
And then we make more and more. And next thing you know, you have created that legacy and you broke through that fear line. That is what we got to do. And that's just a little taste of what we do at Legacy Wealth Group. But this is how you break through the fear line, is coming up with a plan and stop chasing money and getting around people that can formulate a plan that works for where you are at right now today. And we take that action.